Hello, welcome to the Death by Disney podcast. My name is Adam, and my mission is to watch all of the Disney Studio releases from the very beginning until now. I don't know what number I'm on, but it's a number. This is the Three Caballeros. And again, there's not much of a plot, so I'm gonna just blatantly read the Wikipedia summary because it's pretty good. The film is plotted as a series of self-contained segments strung together by the device of Donald Duck opening birthday gifts from his Latin American friends. Several Latin American stars of the period appear, including singers Aurora Miranda, sister of Carmen Miranda, and Dora Luz, as well as singer and dancer Carmen Molina. The film was produced as part of the studio's goodwill message for Latin America. The film stars Donald Duck, who in the course of the film is joined by old friend Jose Carioca, the cigar-smoking parrot from Saludos Amigos, who represents Brazil, and later becomes friends with a pistol-packing rooster named Panchito Pistoles, who represents Mexico, laughing at the stereotype of that. So, I like to break down the podcast into a couple of different sections. So first is the summary, which we just had, and then we have the trivia section, which will be in a moment, and then my review, and then other people's reviews. So, there's not much trivia connected to this because probably you haven't seen it. It's kind of a worser version of Saludos Amigos, but I'll get to my review in a moment. Here's the only interesting bit of trivia I could find connected to it. Clarence Nash also provides the voice of Donald Duck in the Spanish dubbed version, giving Donald a charming American accent that complements Jose Carioca's Brazilian and Panchito's northern Mexican ones. So if you don't know, Clarence Nash is the original voice of Donald Duck. So, kind of crazy. I mean, did he understand Spanish enough to be able to do that, or did they just do it phonetically? But kind of great that they got him to do it rather than... Because, it's really strange if you've never done this before, but listen to a character from your childhood, right? And then listen to the dubbing of that character. Often, they try and make it sound the same, but sometimes it's not. And I think Donald Duck is a good example of that. Like, I think I saw a Polish version of Donald Duck once. Not fun. Okay, here's my review of it's in English, the Three Caballeros. This Walt Disney film from the 1940s is only interesting for two reasons. The first is that it was one of the first films to mix live action and animation in the same shot. Even today, watching it so many years later, I was wondering at some points how they were able to achieve this effect. The other strange aspect of this movie is Donald Duck is a real horn dog in it. He seems to be immediately in love with any attractive woman he meets, and as he meets a lot of attractive women in this adventure, the lust of Donald Duck is really something that makes you question the people who made this film. It's kind of like the Howard the Duck effect. Although it's kind of creepier because Howard the Duck is somewhat human-sized, and Donald, at least in this movie, is duck-sized. So I don't know what he's thinking there. The other thing I noticed while watching this is that when we moved to realistic animation, computer-generated animation, I think we lost a lot of the creativity of animation. There's a scene where Donald Duck is in a song, but his form changes into an instrument, and it's multicolored, and it's spectacular. We don't see that kind of pure animated art anymore, and that's a shame. This particular film is not great. It lacks narrative structure, and is just an excuse to display this new technique of mixing live action with animation. If you're interested in the history of film or animation, it's worth watching, but if you want an entertaining film in a similar vein, probably you should choose The Reluctant Dragon or Saludos Amigos. Yeah, it's really great. The animation, early Disney animation, is really something to see. Really, really good. Okay, but that's my review. What about a negative review? I mean, mine was pretty negative, but here's another negative one. And unlike Victory Through Air Power, the last episode, where there was like 10 reviews on the Internet Movie Database, in this one there was like 60, so it's a much more popular film. Anyway, here's the negative review. I've never been to Bali, and you? From Verbrikaka, 19 July 2023. Ooh, this month. Spoilers. Continuing my Walt Disney Animation Studios marathon, practically the first direct sequel to a Disney movie. The penguin segment is cute. The Gauchino segment is so bad. Would this flying donkey be one of the children of Donkey from Shrek and Dragon? The Carioca and Donald Duck together are wonderful. The Have You Ever Been to Bali is wonderful. This other character is so bland and forgettable. Wow, this segment of Mexico is horrible. Acapulco reminds me of Chavez, but what a boring and dull part of this film. It seems that this unbearable segment never ends. Fantasia, 1940, has 2 hours, but if you're committed to pay attention until it flows well. I've never been to Bali, and you? Wow. Sometimes I don't understand the opinions of people who who leave these reviews, but in this case, I really don't understand what they're trying to say. And the review is like 1 out of 10, so the lowest you can possibly get, but it seems they like some things, but I don't know where Chavez is, and I mean, it's not a good film, in my opinion. I agree with you, it's not that good. I wouldn't give it a 1 out of 10, but it's not a great film. And how could you say that Fantasia is not boring? Oh, Fantasia is so boring. It has like better parts individually than this film, but it's pretty horrible. Okay, now we have the positive review entitled Psychotic Backward Visuals from the PR People at Disney. And this is from Johnson James 10 from December 2010. This is good neighbor PR to Latin America. If I was from another country and viewed this as a public relations machine, I would be disturbed. I would probably think Americans and the Disney people were drinking or doing drugs or had just plain lost it. Whatever, as a PR machine, I just wouldn't get it. As a mind-blowingly weird cartoon, I understand this. Its lunacy just seems thinly disguised as a travelogue of South America. Not that the descriptions of South America aren't informing, or often charming and musical. The overall effect just seems to make South America seem more like Oz or Wonderland or something. Even though a lot of the information is authentic, it makes South America come off like a fantasy or a fairy tale, rather than something real. And it does have a tendency to make Latin Americans come off as characters in a Disney cartoon, rather than real people, especially in the Bathing Beauty beach scene with Pato Donald. I'm not saying a lot of this isn't the usual Disney cuteness and adorability. A lot of it is. The scene where Pato, why do you keep calling him Pato? It's Donald the Donald Duck. Pato Donald does a little jitterbug at an outdoor BBQ is precious cute. It's just that when Caballeros gets weird, it fries hard and acidly, like hardcore acid. Most of its visuals and humors are sharp, not hot-headed and bitingly caustic. Although hilariously funny, it sort of leaves the viewer with a sort of hangover and a disturbed state of mind. I don't think any of this is stereotypical or racist at all. In fact, the film is very reverent of South America and its culture. Rather than working as propaganda for the United States, it has a reverse effect, being propaganda for South America instead. The only problem is, having been made mostly by Anglos, I'm not sure a lot of Latinos might feel comfortable being portrayed as larger than life fantasy characters out of a Disney cartoon. And this does have a bad tendency to portray Latinos as cute and doing cute things, like singing about cookies and doing dances with children. However, there is one tough, gritty moment with a traditional cockfight. Cockfighting here is legal. As sharp and acerbic as Caballeros gets, it's still very cute and funny and cinematically one of Disney's best works of hand-drawn animation. Just sort of makes South America seem like it only exists in fairy tales or something. Remember, this is a 10 out of 10 review. Um, I wouldn't say it's any more psychedelic than other Disney offerings, and I would have to disagree that it's not the best animation that Disney ever did. Um, yeah, and you don't mention anything about Donald Duck's sexual proclivities there. But yeah, it's 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 kind of it's a film that you could watch. I didn't like it, but it's not like something like I have to remember what I've seen and what I can tell you, because I can tell you about some other bad Disney films that are coming up that you probably shouldn't watch. But yeah, this one is a little bit offensive with the Donald Duck stuff, but the rest, it's an okay movie. Yeah, I would give it. So, I guess the question is, would you show this to kids? Um, I think you could, but the question is why? Like, would they like it? Probably not. So, if you like the history of animation, you could watch it. Alright, so that is my review of the Three Caballeros. If you want to support the podcast, you can do so by subscribing, of course. You can leave a review. You can answer the comments if you're watching this. You can answer the questions on Spotify, because Spotify, there are some questions connected to the podcast. All right. Thanks, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.